Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, apologies. There's a dog in the background. My neighbor's dog is just annoying as hell sometimes, I guess. Nothing I can do about it. My office is right, basically, the window of my office faces towards their backyard. Yeah. Also, because we're not quarantined, I guess. That's not the right word, but things are kind of locked down, right? My whole family's home all the time, and so it's just noisy. Anyway, today I'm going to work on some more guided missile stuff. I need to make some fixes. I don't know, maybe we'll get to a sound effect. We'll see. Working on the art for it. And I think I did, well, we'll work on that some more. And then, yeah. The other thing I was working on this morning was this sort of history of thrust-like games, and Gravity Ace is right in here, showing some of the influences and where things came from, which I think would be I don't know. I think it's interesting. I'm interested in all this stuff, and I think it could be interesting to other people. Sometimes I see comments like, "Oh, hey, Gravity Ace, that's just like didn't isn't that a copy of Pixel Junk Shooter?" Or, "Oh, it reminds me of Oids," And I think a lot of people don't realize that Oids wasn't the first one, right? Or Solar Jetman wasn't the first one. They actually were inspired by Gravatar, which was inspired by Asteroids, and Lunar Lander, which was inspired by, Space War. I was doing this and I realized, wow, Space War came out in '62. Gravity Ace, if I just wait 2 more years to release it, I could say it's the 60th anniversary. That's a long time. Or if I wait 1 more year and release it next year, I could be the 35th anniversary of Thrust, which came out in '86. I'm not going to do either of those things. Anyway. Alfred Bowdish. Yeah, send me a link to that. One thing I really like Trello. I use it for all my game stuff, right? I think it's lightweight enough. It's fast. I love that it's very responsive and easy to use, and but I kind of hate that Atlassian has taken it over, because I think, I use Jira all day long at work, and I despise it. It's so slow and clunky and awful, and Trello feels like, I don't know. It still works fine, but I feel like this sense of impending doom, like Atlassian's going to destroy it any day now. Yeah, I'll check that out. Thanks for the link. Yeah, kids are noisy, man. Wait until they get a little older. It doesn't get any easier, let me tell you that. All right, so let me just refresh my memory here on where we're at. And then, oh, no way. He's making a Trello clone in Godot? I gotta check that out. Godot Trello. He doesn't have it available yet to download. Well, that's cool. I'm gonna check that out. So where were we? What's a CNP? Oh, copy and paste. Yeah, no, I do, but I'm trying something a little different. I'm recording on my desktop, but I have the chat and everything up on my phone. Interesting. And I didn't really think this through very well today. I didn't prepare very well for this particular stream, so I don't have half my windows open that I normally do. Anyway, I can copy and paste. Thank you very much. All right, so this is where I left it. We have a working kind of heat-seeking missile, right? It's got a fun little wobble to it, which I think is fine. I'm going to check that off the list. You can shoot them, but there's a bug where you can shoot it multiple times. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh, I thought, okay, maybe it fixed itself. There was a bug where you could shoot the missile multiple times and get a bunch of points for it. But there is a problem where it appears in front of the launcher, and I want it to appear behind the launcher. And it's just some little visual glitches I want to fix. And also I need to work on the art for the launcher itself. And I think I need to... Yeah, there's a z-index thing, and then I think there's an issue where no matter where you are, right, the missile will appear pointed in that direction and just go in that direction, even if there's a wall there. And what I want them to do is always shoot out of the launcher in the direction the launcher is facing, and then try to get to the player. Let's fix that one first. So here's my launcher. Here's the shoot. This is it. Spawn bullet. So this is correct, I think. Yeah, this is correct. But then the missile, I guess, starts tracking the player instantly, and so it'll rotate. Yeah, it's the missile. So the missile will start rotating instantly to the direction that towards the player. And what I want it to do is actually not start steering towards the player until this timer is called. So what I can do is just say, if I do this someplace else in here, I think. When the missile is created, one of the first things it does is starts this timer, and it disables its collision. And then when the timer runs out, this guy, after 1 second, then the collision is enabled. That way you can't shoot it until it's fully launched. So this steering behavior here, I won't activate until the timer is done. So I can just say, and do that. So when the timer is running, it won't steer. Let's see if that works. No. Nope, that doesn't work at all. It's probably because vector to player is... Yeah, that's not quite right. Yeah, that's not quite right. The initial vector to player. It's the right idea, it's just the wrong thing, because vector to player is literally a pointer towards the player, but its velocity see, this is going to be 0 initially. Maybe that is right. And then I can set vector to player, initial vector to player equals just that, just a normal vector rotated in the direction that its initial rotation. Let's see. Close. Is that right? I think if I take the wobble out, where is that wobble? It's here. Let's just negate the wobble for a second. Okay, so it's not the wobble that's the bug. It's just going the wrong direction, right? Am I not setting the... Yeah, I'm not setting the rotation, so... Should just be the same rotation as the launcher itself. There it goes. That's what I want. So it shoots out from the launcher, straight out in the direction the launcher is facing. And if I change the launcher, like I can move it, right, to here, for example, and now they should shoot out straight out. Right? And if I put another one like here, that one should shoot out this way. Right? So let's put the wobble back on. Oh, you know what? I also need some art. Icon art for editor. That works. It's noisy. Time offset. Oh, right. Let's do that. Well, not right this second, but let me put it in our to-do. All right, let's do the z-index thing. So I think this, I think if I just do show behind parent, let's see. Delete that guy. Yeah. And let's do, let's calculate those, right? This is for calculate wobble. But if if not, so if the timer is going at the beginning when it's first launched, then let's just set the offset equals nothing. So it won't wobble when it's first launched. So it looks like they launch and then they start swimming towards you. They're like little fish. You know what else I think I need to do? The way these are designed right now, I need to... I think I need to remove how many points you can get from these guys. This has nothing to do with the points. I'm just noticing that the chat isn't working. No. What was I just saying? Oh, points, right? So there's a design issue here. Every time you shoot a missile, you get some points. But that means you can just hang out next to one of these launchers forever and just rack up points on your score. So maybe these aren't worth any points. Maybe you get nothing. You get nothing! I don't know. That somehow doesn't feel right to me either, to get nothing for them. Maybe the issue here, it's a design issue. I need to figure out either some way to give points fairly, or I need to have some limit on how many points you can get from one of these things, and that limit you could either implement it by being able to destroy. No, you couldn't. You can't limit it by just destroying the launcher, because the player wouldn't have to destroy the launcher. They could just sit there destroying the missiles forever, and then when they feel like they had enough fun, then they could destroy the launcher. You could give each launcher a certain amount of ammo. Maybe each launcher only shoots 4 missiles, and then they run out. So the most you could get would be 4 times however many points. I kind of like that idea. Let's do that. let's do that. And let's just say the launcher has a certain amount of ammo. Hey, Larrington. Resupply ship. That's a fun idea. I mean, one of the things that I kind of like about this sort of game is envisioning like all the different support infrastructure that would have to exist for an enemy base like this to operate, and then actually simulate all those things. Little trucks refueling things, and ammo being replenished, and a whole supply chain of things happening. That would be cool. But I'm not going to do that. I don't have time for that. We'll just have to use our imaginations. But we will say every time you shoot a bullet, we'll call this starting ammo. And then we'll create a health or a signal here, or no, a variable here, ammo equals, right? And then ammo equals starting ammo. And then on shoot, if you shoot a missile, here it is, we'll say ammo -1 if ammo actually we don't want it there, we want it here. Yep. Mobile launchers would be cool too. I mean, I thought about maybe having this thing on a truck or something and you being able to destroy it. But I went back and forth on that. Maybe I'll still make one of those, but this guy, what I wanted was something indestructible, and it's going to launch 4 missiles at you no matter what. You just have to deal with all 4. In this case, 4. Maybe I'll change the number, but that way it's like a constant problem, some kind of constant hazard if you're loitering in an area that you have to deal with. And maybe I would make the ammo, let's see, I turned the points back on, right? Yeah, you get points for destroying it. Let's call the ammo 6, and then let's even change the shoot cooldown from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. So it's going to take 18 seconds before you get all of the missiles launched at you. Let's see how that feels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that was cool. So of course, then I need I'm going to need a animation or a visual for when it's out of ammo that makes it clear that it's not going to be shooting at you anymore. I need to get rid of that health bar. If this thing can't be shot, then it doesn't need the health bar. right? I can move all of these down here. Just hide that. Don't need that. Let's just delete that. Let's be bold and just delete them, because I don't think I need them and I can add them back later. Let's change the invulnerability timer on this guy, this activate timer, to half a second. I think 1 second was too long. Is that working? Did that take? That's better. For some reason, it didn't take when I first did it. First one gets the shield. Oh. Ba-bam. I do like the amount of momentum that the explosion gives you. See how it pushes me? Well, not that time. But you'll see here, it gives you a nice push. Bit of a kick. All right. Oh, let's see. So we've got, that's fixed. That's okay for now. That's done. Let's do this. So every missile has the same wobble. So if you end up with multiple launchers on the screen, multiple missiles on the screen, they'll all be wobbling kind of in sync with each other. You can see that best. Let me show you. If we get a couple of them in the air at the same time. So there's one. Right, and now if you look at them following me, see how they're all in sync? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I want to add some uniqueness. So for each one, I'm going to have a wobble offset. And when each one is instantiated. There's that dog. Right. Just be a random number, a float. And just add it right here. No. Add it right here. Yeah, so now they should all be a bit out of sync. Hey, Avi, how's it going? Are they out of sync? No, I don't think they are. So it's weird. Sometimes when you make these changes to the scripts, you have to restart the editor. Sometimes you don't. And I think it has something to do with the fact that I might be preloading some of these scenes. I can't remember exactly, but I might be, I don't know. It has something to do with the way they're loaded or something, that sometimes the changes take and sometimes they don't. I could also just be doing it wrong here. We'll see. I mean, I think those were out of sync. Kind of hard to test. Let me add another one right here. And another one right here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, those wobbles are out of sync. Oh! I think I would like them to kind of stay away from each other a little bit. What would be the simplest way to do that? Could make them collide with each other, but then they're going to explode, I think. I have to put in some code to make them not explode when they're bumping into one of themselves. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's kind of cool, actually, but let's see what happens if I make them not explode. If body just do that. If it collides with another missile, just don't do anything. I mean, it's still going to do the collision, so they won't overlap, but it won't explode. Let's see how that looks. Oh, I kind of like that. I can work with that. Gives them a little separation. They're like a pack. They're like a hunting pack. Coming for you. Hey, Nick. Hey, we were talking about a design problem earlier. The problem was this. You get 1,000 points for shooting down a missile. Okay? But the way these were designed initially, there were an unlimited number of them, right? An infinite number of missiles could come out if you just stayed loitering in this area, which you could do for a long time, depending on your fuel situation. But you could just stay in an area for a long time, shoot a bunch of them down, get a bunch of points. So I could make them not worth any points at all, but I didn't like that. I wanted to give the player some reward for killing them. So what I did instead was I restricted these launchers to only have a certain amount of ammo. Each one has 6 shots. So the most you can get from loitering in an area and shooting down all the missiles from a launcher is 6,000 points. I think that's a okay solution. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? So that's done. Let's do this. How fast do they spawn? If someone is going for a score run, will they have to sit and wait long? Yeah, they'll have to wait about 20 seconds. They're spawning about 1 every 3 seconds. Yeah. That's a good consideration. Because I don't want them to be bored, right? Just waiting for the missiles to launch out. Only the first missile gives points, then they could still be infinite. Yeah, that's an idea. I also thought, of you could destroy the launcher, right? But or maybe the launcher self-destructs after a certain amount of time. But you could still if you were destroying the launcher to stop the missiles, then you'd still could not destroy it. So that doesn't quite work. And I don't like the self-destructing thing. I don't know, just conceptually, I don't like the having it self-destruct. That's interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the limit for now. What I think I need to do in the art, though, is then I need to be very clear about how many missiles are in the launcher, how many are left, and when it's done launching, it needs to very obviously shut down or stop itself, right? I'm going to commit all this stuff. What is this? That is just noise. What's this? I didn't commit this stuff. Not committing. Yeah, I like that idea too because the missiles are kind of like just like bullets, right? And normally you don't get points for killing the bullets. You get points for killing the thing that's shooting the bullets. Yeah, I'll have to play with that too and see. That makes sense to me too. And it does give you one more thing to shoot for, right? Like maybe that's the way to go because it does give you then an incentive to shoot the thing that's launching the bullets, launching the missiles as quickly as you can so that it doesn't launch too many missiles and you get overwhelmed. You kind of want to prioritize then shooting the launchers. But at the same time, you're dealing with a bunch of other stuff going on, so you might not be able to get to the launcher right away. So a couple of missiles are going to fly into the air. You're going to have to be dealing with some other things. Then you're going to have to shoot down the missiles and then go after the launcher as quickly as you can so that it doesn't keep launching more missiles at you. I like that idea too. I do like that idea. I'll just have to try it and see. What else have I got here? Icon art for the editor is easy. Let's do that one. So everything in the editor has a little icon for it. So like the reactor platform, right? Has its art, but it also has an editor icon. And the reactor itself, right? And the clamshell enemies and the drones. And these are my missile launchers, but I'm just using the placeholder art here. So I want to replace this icon. And to do that, I need a sprite. And I need to open my other icons so I know what I'm dealing with here. Right, so these are 32 by 32. And they're two colors. It's this dark gray and this red. Let's see. So let's start with, get my pad, drawing pad here. Ooh. This episode brought to you by John punching his microphone. Let's open up the launcher. Where is my launcher art? Just take this guy and copy it. Whoops. Not the whole thing. Just want that. And then shrink her down. Thanks, Nick. Edit away. If you guys didn't know, wow, 10 of you. You guys are so quiet. It's cool. I'm a lurker too. It's fine. I love you guys. I'm glad you're here. If you have any questions, though, feel free to ask. If you want to jump in and say something, feel free. Everybody here is a pretty friendly bunch. And if you didn't know, Nick is making a cool game called Monkeys with Guns. It's on itch.io. He's building it in Construct. And Nick is a fantastic artist and teaching himself programming. Great, very inspirational. And he's been on a great journey this past year making this game. And you should all definitely go check it out. It's like, it's sort of like Smash Brothers, I guess. And I think Monkeys with Guns would be great on the Switch. So if anybody has a connection with Nintendo, please hit him up and let him know. What is this? So I just upgraded Sprite, and it's got all these new buttons that I don't know what they do. Oh, cool. That's cool. Sprite has this feature called lock alpha, which is basically just means it's only going to color on pixels that have that already have a color on them. So you see, it's not. If I switch it back to this, you can see I've got my brush, and it'll just paint everywhere. But if I switch it to lock alpha, it's only going to color over pixels that already have a color. So it's just easy way to change everything's color all at once. And then I'm going to add, is that the right red? What this red? It's this dark red. Switch this back to alpha compositing. I'm going to add a little ominous red dot right there. And then I'm going to add a red missile. Something like that. So that'll be my icon for the launcher. Let's see, they're all kind of down here, 1 pixel from the edge. I want them to be consistent, right? And then we'll call this one launcher. Is that the right folder? Yeah. Editor icons. And then I need to tell the editor code where to find it. And that will be right here. I have a little database dictionary of this is all the different entities that can go in the game, right? And for each one, I give it a name, an ID, an icon, and then the actual scene that represents that thing, so the game knows how to instantiate those entities. And my launcher is here, and so it's using the placeholder, but I want it to use the launcher PNG. And now, when I restart the game, should be there. Right, there it is. There's my missile launcher. Feels a little small. I think it needs to be bigger. Turn on the mirroring. It doesn't need to be exactly what the actual thing looks like. It just needs to be representative, right? Because it's an icon. It just needs to read as that thing. But I do want it to be recognizable. That's pretty good. Let's see how that looks. That looks like a bat. Let's take that away. This needs to be more chunky. These are going to be a little rounder. These are going to be a little chunky. These are going to be a little chunkier as well. Something like that. Yeah, like that. That looks better. And then let's do this. That'll do. I like that. Oh, what is that? Index rotation. I don't know. I don't understand this bug. There's a weird bug in the editor here when I tried to undo something. I don't know. Making a level editor is very hard. If you don't have to do it, I probably recommend don't do it. It is a very cool feature, and I think people are going to really like it. And making your own levels will give the game a lot of additional life. Because, I mean, hopefully the player community will love it, and they'll just make a ton of levels. But it is very, very difficult to do. At least for me, making the level editor has been a source of constant headache and sorrow and pain. Mixed with brief flirtations with joy and happiness. It hasn't been all bad. Maybe it's more like an abusive relationship where, like, let's not go there. Metaphors are terrible. All right, so that's the icon. Let me commit that. Why does it keep saying this one changed? The editor, I mean, as far as Git is concerned, like, see this frame number changing? That's just because I'm animating I'm animating this thing, right? So whenever I open it up in the editor, if this changes at all, it's going to change the frame number of the sprite, right? This. See, it just changes it, right? And then when I save it, even though nothing really materially has changed, Git's going to say, hey, you changed this thing. I'm not sure how to solve that problem, because sometimes you do want this to be committed to source control, and sometimes you don't care. I don't care. Here's another one, right? Don't need to commit that. But here's my icon. Here's my new icon. is this? Yeah. Which of these will be more fun to do? I don't know. What do you guys want to see? You guys want to see working on art for the launcher? Just kind of refining this and adding more detail and some animations for it. Or we can work on sound effects for the launcher. Some kind of mechanical door opening noise and closing noise and some kind of deactivation noise when it doesn't have any missiles left. All right. Sound effects it is. I don't want to do art right now. So I have all my sound effects. I do them all in this program called Waveform. There's a free version. You can go out and download it from traction.com. Tracktion, Traction. I bought the Pro version because I like it a lot. It does give you some neat features. I'm making the music and the sound effects both with Traction. So for example, let me see. Yeah, that should be fine. Button closing. Here's a beacon. This is the like a waypoint beacon. Turn that up a little bit. This is the, what is this? I think this is when the player teleports into the level. Oh no, this is when drones appear. What is this one? That's when a cargo box is removed from a cargo platform. This is when a cargo box is added to a platform. When you shoot a cargo box. Anyway, got bunches of different sound effects in here. So we'll create a new one and we'll call it, what do we call it? Oh. We'll play this when the launcher opens. And I kind of want to copy some of the clips from, I think from, where was it? From here. Maybe this as well. Let me open this one. Let's take this clip, put it here. right? That'll be kind of like, maybe that'd be better on the close, but. Somebody throw me a bone. Can I get some sharks with some freaking laser beams? Is that too much to ask, people? So I think this wants to be probably about a half second. Let's do that. Maybe longer. Do that. And let's see, it's opening, right? It's kind of like a mechanical noise. I've got a bunch of royalty-free sound effects. So all the different sound effects bundles that I buy or download for free, people give them away sometimes. They're all in here. This one, Universal Sound Effects, I think I paid $30 for it. And they update it every once in a while with new sound effects that you can just download. Most of the sound effects in my game come from this. And let's see. Robotics has a bunch of cool noises. One of the things I like about Traction is that you can just audition all the sounds. Those are all interesting, but they're too noisy. That's not bad. Kind of like that. Let's take that one. Put this clunk at the end. I kind of want some sound like a rising noise, like whoosh, like it's turning on. That's interesting, but it's way too long. Let's see, what if I just took the beginning of that? Let's try shortening that clip. I want to change the speed. No. Yeah. I want to change the speed. I don't want to change the pitch. I want to change the speed to something like... like that. What if I cut it right there? Cut it right there. Delete that part. Too noisy. Yeah, kinda. Right? Oh god, what was that noise? Windows 95. Wasn't it the Rolling Stones? Every time you hit start, it would play Mick Jagger, right? Let's do this. I think there's a pitch shift. Yeah. So we can say make the pitch shift go here up, here, start low and go high. And then let's shorten that a little bit. All right, turn the volume down on this guy. It's okay. Let me see. So the launcher does this opening animation, right? I should have looked at this earlier, but the opening animation is 1 second long. It opens. Oh, it opens in half a second. And then it closes again. So the full animation from opening should go in 0.4 seconds. The missile will fire, and then it closes again. So that's going to be the whole sound. So there'll just be one sound effect. And yeah. So this is actually okay, right? This opens. And then we'll have it close. Let's see, let's make this. Yeah, because I want this to play at about the 0.9 second mark, but I want to hear the whole sound, so I need to make this sound effect a little longer. Like that. I wonder if I have a door noise. Kind of like that sound. I don't know. Let me, so again, you know, just like I do with my art and everything, I need to put it in the game to see how it sounds. So I'm going to export one of these, render it to a file. This is going to normalize it to, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And it's going to save it here. Yeah. I don't know why that directory, oh, it doesn't matter. All right, so render that out. And then I can go in there and get it. Right? And then I I can put it somewhere in the game. I want to put it with the enemies, sound effects, and we'll call it launcher open. Yeah, just like that. Then I can go back into Godot and add a, yeah, we'll put it right here. Enemies, sound effects, right there. All right, so that will play right here, right? So as soon as the thing decides it's going to shoot, it starts playing the animation, and it'll play this sound effect, and then play it. What is this? I don't need all this. So this was a holdover from the code that the script that I copied this from. What it was doing was I allowed it to have a set of these, like maybe 2 or 3 of these, and I would put them in an array, and it would just choose one that wasn't in use to play, or it would add a new one. Yeah, so it would try to find one, and if it couldn't find one, it would add one by just duplicating this. And so dynamically, as the game would play, it would just keep adding them until it didn't need to add anymore, and then you'd be able to play as many as you needed to all at the same time. It's kind of like a little lightweight built-in self-managed audio manager, but I don't need any of that for this thing. I just need to do that. All right, let's see how it works. And delete this stuff because it's going to make my testing life complicated. So I think the timing's okay. The missile needs a sound. The missiles are silent. They need a rocket noise, and they need a launching noise. That'll sell it. That'll help sell it. I'm not convinced I like that noise, but the timing's okay, and now I can just come back to this and edit and do whatever I need to do. It's okay. It needs something, though. It's still not quite, it's not quite right. Let's see. I think I've got some rocket noises, actually. That might be good. Interesting. I kind of like this one. Just play that one in a loop. Let's see. I'll be right back. I'm going to take a quick break. Hey, all right, we're back. So we were looking at the sound for the rocket. I'm just going to throw this one in there just as a placeholder for right now. I'll do something else with it at some point, but just as a placeholder, just to get things moving. So we'll call this missile. And we'll just dump in this. And how long is this thing? That's fine. So it's a little less than 2 seconds, right? We'll just put it right there. That loop's okay, and then we'll export it. And let's call it -5 and render that out. And then, all right, so now this one will import it into Godot a little bit differently. I want this sound, but I want it to loop. So I'm going to change that to loop and then re-import it. So now it's going to loop. And I'm going to put that on the missile. So this guy needs a audio stream player. We'll call it engine. And we'll put the missile on there and have it autoplay. And let's not do that. So then when the missile first appears, we'll just say play. And when it's destroyed, we'll have it stop. How's it sounding? Let's see. Sorry, the break took so long. I had to take a phone call. That's not too bad. And it's an audio stream 2D, so I don't know if you guys can hear it in stereo, but right now it's in my right ear. And now it's in my left ear. Oh, you can't hear it at all? Interesting. Can you hear the other sounds? You can't hear anything. You can hear my voice, right? Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's like, weird. Somehow the desktop audio isn't coming through. Something wrong with the mixer. That's all fine. That's fine, that's fine. Well, that's really weird. Oh, how about that? Now you can hear it, right? Yeah, it's OBS being a pain. All right. Yeah. Right, so that works okay. The reason that I have to stop playing the sound is because the missiles have this smoke particle trail behind them. So when you blow them up, if I just freed the whole node, it would also destroy the particle trail. And what you would end up seeing is just the whole particle trail just instantly disappears. So what I do instead is when you kill the missile, it plays dead. It doesn't actually die. It just pretends to be dead. And it does that by saying it's no longer alive. This is a flag. And then hides itself, turns off the particle emissions, turns off the collision, stops playing the sounds. So effectively it's gone from the game, but it's still in the scene. That way the particle 2D particles can still keep doing their thing. And then it starts a death timer. The death timer runs for, I don't know, half a second or something. And then that death timer here, that frees it. So it gives the particles time to dissipate before it just disappears. All right. So I'm a little worried because I put the sound effect in the game and it sounds okay. And now I'm worried that I'm just going to leave it in because it's good enough. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be a problem because I don't like it. It's too it's kind of too realistic. It's a little too meaty, throaty. I want something a little smaller sounding, but also something not quite as realistic sounding. This sounds like it was recorded like at an actual launch or something. I mean, it is pretty cool that it does sound scary when it's chasing you. There's definitely no mistaking that it's coming after you. I also still don't like the door sound. But like with all these things, I need to put it in the game, I need to play it a little while, and then, you know, over time, just sitting with it and listening to it for a few hours, I'll realize, oh, you know what, it needs this, or it needs that, or that part of it is just too loud in the mix or something, so I'll lower that part and increase this part. But it just takes a little bit of time. I can't do it right now because I just created it. I need to sit with it for a little while to see how I feel about it, basically. Yeah, but it does. Exactly right. It gives me an idea of what I want. It's close, and it fills in there. And now it's easier, right? Because I've got everything all set up here. Everything's set up here. Everything's set up in the code. All I need to do now is just mess with the sound until I've got something I like, and then just resave it. The engine will pick it up automatically. It'll start playing automatically. You know, it'll pick up the new sound and everything. So now my workflow loop is very quick. I can just tweak the sound, load it in the game, play it, see how I like it, tweak the sound again, see how I like it. So I did the hard, well, I mean, I did the boring part of the work. And then now I can just be creative. All right. So let's say that's done. And then let's say real sound effects, or let's call it sound effects polish on launcher and missile. Just add that. All right, I guess I have to do this now. This launcher art. I don't know, what else can I work on? Could do this. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready. So much stuff to do. I've got all these ideas I still need to work on. I've got all this stuff I need to do for just launching an early access. I mean, even just this, add animated GIFs. That's going to take me hours. It looks so simple when you write it out like this, but it's going to take hours and hours. I mean, this is already open. Let me just work on this for a little bit. Just for a half hour or so. All right, so one problem here is if you look at the sky, you can see it's kind of hard to tell where it ends and the level begins, or they kind of blend into each other a little too much. And I think I want to change that. Actually, though, you know what I should do before I do this is I should prototype the idea that you can blow up, that the missiles are infinite and you get no points for them, but you can blow up the launcher. You can blow up the launcher, and then the launcher will stop shooting missiles at you once you blow it up. Because if I like that idea better, then I think what I'll do is have it not embedded in the cliff like this. Instead, I'll have it, you know, more like that, with like some legs on it to attach itself. And then of course I'll need to make new art to show it when it's destroyed versus when it's alive. But I won't know if I want to go to all the trouble of making those art pieces until I prototype destroying it first. So let's do that real quick. Let's just prototype it. Should be easy. Thank you, Jason. Yeah. So I would take the launcher and say you have 10 health. And let's do that. Just say it has an unlimited amount of missiles, right? Just for prototyping. If this turns out to be the way I like doing it, then obviously I'll change that. And then this needs a hurt, right? Right. Yep. Let's do that. That's going to be worth 0, and this is going to be worth, I don't know. It's another thing I need to do is I need to rebalance all these points and everything. See how much things are worth. It needs to make sense. Their relative worth needs to make sense compared to each other. Yeah, so this will... So this will... I'm going to leave this, but you're going to get 0 points now. And you can destroy the launcher now because it only has 10 health. Let's see. Oh, that means I need to bring back the health bar too. So this thing should just keep shooting missiles at me all the live long day. That's an interesting side effect. See how it's showing the score that I'm getting from the missiles, but it's saying it's 0? I kind of like that. It kind of... I could change... I was thinking about changing the point system so that if the points are 0, it doesn't show it. But maybe having it show 0 is a good signal to the player that what they're doing is futile. And what you need to do is shoot this guy. And then it stops. If you're quick, you can get it before it launches anything at you. Maybe that should have way more health. Maybe it should be like, well, I don't know. But maybe if it had way more health, and if the missiles didn't activate for, if they were invulnerable for a little bit longer. Let's see. Makes it more intense. I actually think I like that. So it definitely needs the health bar back so you can see that you're making progress. So let's do that. Put that back. The health bar is a standalone scene. I don't need to do anything except add it to the scene. No, I need to change the way it's rotated. Let's see. what it does is the code in here, it first connects itself to its parent and connects its the parent's health change signal to itself to update its bar. And it gets its max value and current value from the parent as well. So it works without me having to do anything, as long as the thing that you're attaching it to has max health and a health changed signal. Then you can add the health bar to it and it does its thing. Let's see how that looks. So the health bar won't appear until it takes some damage. There it is. So you can see it going down. If you just give it nothing but, if you give it the business constantly, it's still going to launch 1, 2, gets 3 off, even if you're just hammering it constantly. And then it's dead. Yeah, I do. I think I like that. So if you're in an area and there's stuff to do, or maybe you've got this and you're like, oh no. Oh no. Doggone me, missile launcher. Or if there's other enemies in the area, like some drones and a couple of turrets and maybe a couple of these guys. So you've got to deal with all of this stuff and the missile launcher. Yeah, that could be fun. $50 feels like too many. Too many hit points. Let's lower that to 30. And its cooldown to 2, so it's going to shoot the missiles more frequently. Let's try that. Felt right. All right. I like that. So I'm going to keep that, which means I need to change all this. but that's okay. Let's go in here. And in here I've got add points. Tries to figure out how many points you're going to get. And then it does a display, it adds it to your score, does all this stuff. But I think what I want to say is if points is less than or equal to 0, then definitely you're not going to get a bonus chain. Oh, it does it here. This needs to be higher up. Yeah, if points that should work. I should see points for those. Bonuses. But for shooting the missiles, I get nothing. Rapid fire bonus for blowing up multiple missiles. If points and yeah. So now it shouldn't have any display at all when something is worth 0 points. Alright, I like that. So, I've changed the mechanics about this a little bit. You get points now when you destroy the thing, thanks Nick, but not when you destroy the missiles. And that way the missile launcher can keep just launching missiles forever, and you're not having to worry about anybody farming it for points. These things are pretty beefy and have a lot of hit points, so it takes a little while to destroy them, especially when there's other stuff going on. So that gives it a chance to launch several missiles. And I lowered the timeout on the missile launch to make sure that it does get some away no matter what you do. And I like that. But it does mean I need to change the art, and I want to give it, I want to have it sticking out of the terrain a little more, kind of like these guys do, or how they're sitting on top. I think I want to give it some legs to stand on, but I still want it to be really beefy like this because it's obviously very armored and tough to destroy. It is kind of a bunker type deal going on here. So I want to give it some really strong looking armor all around it. To explain why it's so hard to destroy. And then on top of that, I need to add some animation for when it's been destroyed, just like these guys, so you can tell when you've killed it. So that changes. That's going to change this whole structure. And I think the way I ended up making this thing, I don't even use this idle 2. I use this idle and then the open, and it closes again. Just plays open backwards, right? And it closes. But I'll need to change this to like death or something, and have it do all the colors and everything, and the doors will be all broken. But I think I'm gonna call it for right now, and I have some more stuff on my to-do list. But I've made some progress, and thank you guys for hanging out with me while I worked on it. As always, please go to gravityace.com, tell all your friends about the game. Wishlisted on Steam. Come follow me on Twitter. I haven't been super active there lately, but I'm going to try and keep posting more there. And I'll post like quick little GIFs and just little things, during the week. And follow on Twitch or itch.io as well. And follow on Twitch. I'll probably post this stream as well on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. I've got all the different things. So again, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Adios.